Yep. Okay, a couple things. One, just to finish up on Tuesday's game versus Georgia, even going back to watching the film, what a great basketball game. It really was a really, really good college basketball game. And tell me this is accurate, Moose. 19 straight possessions, there was a bucket scored?
That's what I was told.
Yeah. I mean, is that a record? That's got to be a record, isn't it?
Could be.
I want you to go back to check every college basketball game and find that out, Moose. Yeah. So I would like for Moose to go check every single game in the history of the archives if he could do that. But no, I mean, I really believe that's got to be a record. Andy, am I right? I mean, 19 straight possessions of both teams scoring. That's incredible. It really is. That's pretty incredible.
The NCAA could tell me.
Yeah, it's an incredible stat. Well, we'll say it's a new record, official record in the record books. Most possessions in a row by both teams, scoring 19 straight possessions. So it was a really good basketball game, great win. And then we obviously turn our attention to North Carolina, open up ACC play on Saturday. Look, North Carolina was in the championship game last year. They pretty much got their entire team back. I know they've have had some struggles as of late, but you look at it last year, they struggled during the course of the year and they got really hot late. And so if they're going to get hot, do it their next game, not against us, the game after ours. But look, we got great respect for North Carolina, and I think Coach Davis is an outstanding coach. They've got really good players. They've got guys who can fill it up and score it, and we'll have to play really, really high level in order to have an opportunity to win. We got to play the right way. We have to do a great job on the rebounds, and we're going to have to do a great job, in transition defense and taking care of the basketball. So I don't know if Baycott's playing. I don't know if you guys. I've tried to look to see if there's anything that he's going to play or not, but we're preparing for that he's going to play. Obviously, he didn't play against Virginia Tech, and he was injured against Indiana. He played, but he was injured. So we'll just see. Obviously, once we get to warm-ups, if he's going to play or not.
Kelly, stars out.
I guess we'll start there. How much does it change your game plan with him and without him? Because obviously, that's sort of the one kind of weakness with you guys is handling those dynamic big men that are rebounders.
Well, I think Baycott's one of the best rebounders in the world, right now, the way he gets after the ball. He is really good. It just has a knack for offensive and defensive rebounding. I mean, the amount of double-doubles he had last year, I think, was a record. And you think of all the great Carolina bigs, I think he has the record for the most double-doubles. He's an incredible rebounder. Obviously, it changes. Look, their system's going to still be their system. It just, whether he plays or not, Carolina's still really good. They still got really good players. But we are planning and preparing that he's going to play. So it's hard to plan and prepare that he's not playing and then he shows up and plays. So we've got to plan because he's that good that you got to plan and prepare that he's going to play. And if he get to warm-ups and he doesn't play, we'll make adjustments that we need to make.
North Carolina's scoring a lot of points, but they're not a very good three-point shooting team. What do you take away from that?
Yeah, they take a lot, but they shoot the threes, and you look at guys like R.J. Davis and Caleb Love. Maybe their percentages haven't been good to this point, but they're very capable of getting hot, and they're really good guards. And so, like I said, if they're bound to get hot, but I'm hoping it's later December, early January, not December the 10th. So we have great respect for their shooting ability.
Jalen was up here earlier, and he was describing how, particularly over the summer, he could kind of feel himself getting better. I'm curious what you saw in the offseason with him and where you saw him improving.
Yeah, I think Jalen has continued to get better, and he's improved, and he's a really good, the more he plays, the better he's going to be, and you can see the upside and the potential that he has. And I just think the more he's on the court, the better he's going to continue to get. And I'm excited about Jalen, and I think it's I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Moses Wright, but in that, and I know he's maybe a little different player in areas, but could have that same type of projection where you're like, where did you find him? Where did he come from? And the more he plays, just the ceiling is so high for him, the better he is and the better our team is.
Looking at the way the team's going and stuff, I think maybe the one area that hasn't quite picked up is Debo offensively. Kind of what's going on, his shot isn't quite there yet. Just is there anything particular you've noticed with his game where he hasn't quite clicked yet?
Well, I think Debo's similar to like Caleb Love and R.J. Davis. I mean, they're guys like that. They're very they've had proof in the past of that they've high level shooters. So. And Debo's the same way. Debo's, he's more than capable. He's due to get hot. It'd be, he's due to get going. He just got to continue to play the right way. And as he does, the ball will continue to find him, and he'll get his feet set and knock some shots down. He just needs to see a couple go through, and he'll be fine. He's a really good player, and he's learned how to score in other ways than just shooting, which is great. But he's due to get hot.
When Franklin's in the game, does that allow your offense maybe to do some different things that you normally wouldn't do, maybe if Rodney was in the game?
I think, and Rodney really did some great things for us last game, really played well for us. But him and Javon and Rodney are different, both defensively and offensively, and that can be good for us because it gives the opponent a different look on both ends of the floor. So, but Javon, the more, again, we don't, sort of similar to Jalen, as in terms of the more Javon plays, the more he'll feel with this, understand our system. Jalen's more about the ceiling and his potential, but Javon understanding our system, the more he plays, he'll be quicker to pick things up, and he's continued to get better with that.
What did you see something specific with Jalen that made you decide to put him in the starting lineup?
No, it was just I just felt like two things, Ken. Like we didn't start well in Fort Myers, so and I've said it, the star of the team's a team. We have more than 5 starters. I just felt I just needed to change some things up in that lineup to maybe get us hopefully have a better start. And then secondly, I felt like we needed to get Jalen going, and I was hoping maybe the starting part would help him kind of get his flow going, and just and because I knew sort of like the decision we made with Moses, saying okay, let's put him in the lineup and let's go with him. And it obviously worked itself out. And I felt the same way with Jalen.
Do you consider when you play maybe some bigger teams this year, playing Rodney and Javon and Jalen together on the court? Is that something that you could do? Obviously, Jalen's got to shoot a little bit better outside probably to make that work, but is that something you could do?
Yeah, no, it's something that we've worked on, we've discussed. But it's also to kind of like, for example, with Georgia, we and they, to Georgia's credit, they made some really good shots. They made some tough shots, and got to give them credit. But we did hold the 9 offensive rebounds, so that was good. So I don't want to mess anything up. When I say mess anything up, right now we're taking care of the ball, and so that's a big thing, and we've really drastically improved on that. So we've worked on those things, but you want to make sure the flow of the stuff offensively continues to stay the same if we went bigger in what you're talking about. So it's something that we'll look at if need to be. The other thing, though, is a lot of teams we're playing usually play 4 perimeters and 1 big, because even like, look, for usually in this day and age, the 4-man's is on the floor as a shooter. There was times when Georgia played 2 bigs, and there's times if Carolina, Baycott and Nance, but Nance is really kind of a perimeter guy. He's shooting almost 40% from 3. So it sort of depends on the other team as well too, and kind of if we're getting hurt in certain areas.
For a period there in the Georgia game, they did a good job of executing with the pick and roll. Is that something that you expect other teams to try to use moving forward?
We got to be better in pick and roll defense. There are some things that we've got to clean up, and credit to Georgia, but we've got to be better in that area, and we spent a lot of time on it today.
Did you anticipate when Jalen got here? Did you think he's someone by the time he's a sophomore he could be at the point he's at now?
Ken, the staple of our program, we've gotten guys better. I mean, that's been a big thing of ours. Every guy that's come in is, for the most part, has really gotten better. I mean, I think we do as well as anybody in the country getting guys better. And Jalen Moore wasn't highly recruited. Didn't have a lot of opportunities coming out of high school. And so a lot of sort of the same thing when I took him. A couple people were like, what are you seeing in him? But I saw what his upside and his potential. And to Jalen's credit, he's a worker. He's a grinder. He's continued to get better. I just think, you'll just continue to see him elevate his game, which, his ceiling's really high, Ken. And it goes back to what we've prided ourselves on, and I think we've done as good a job as any program in America is developing and getting guys better.
Kelly.
I believe Tristan wasn't available in the second half or the first. I'm not sure. Was he available in the last game?
Well, yeah, Tristan. Look, Tristan's been really practicing well. He's battled some injuries earlier in the year. He's just got to continue to stay ready. He's had some great practices for us, and so as I've said, we've got the star of the team's a team. What's great about this group for this year is we're deeper than I think that we've been in some of my other years. And when I say deeper, like we can really go 10 deep, and which includes Jordan Mecca, if needed to be, and Curl and Fred's are improving, but they're probably not there yet in that top 10. So I think we have a deep rotation. It's just hard to get everybody in at times. So I just think it's going to continue to be a work in progress and seeing different rotations and everyone's got to stay ready because it's a long season, a lot of games left.
Anybody else? Ken, you got anything? In the back? Anybody? Cool. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks everybody.